All right. I think we are good to go. Just checking that you can all hear me. Alrighty. Just if you can hear me, there's always a little delay on this thing. So when you can hear me, cool. That's great. Pop out. All right. Whew, what a day. I'll let a few more of you jump in. Please feel free to share this with anyone that you'd like to, because we're going to go through and have a look at what is a pretty crazy market at the moment. It's stocks acting like crypto acting like crypto. and today I'm not just going to do a scan about what's there now. I also want to do a scan and show you about, I guess, the important thing is to know when to move between the lower time frames and the higher time frames. Now, for those of you that are already are members of mine, you're going to receive a video on that specific topic later on today. So you'll get that detail and you can go back and rewatch that if you need to. But it's been a very, it's been all over the shop, hasn't it? So, and has there been money to be made? Absolutely, yeah. But it's not been on the mids. It's been on the lower time frames. Those that money has been made. So, as I sit here in front of you now, I witness once again another V-shaped recovery. Woo! Okay, so let's jump in and talk about Bitcoin for a start, based on yesterday. All right, let's discuss what happened yesterday. I put a tweet out and a Facebook post out saying I think the market, we look lower, and I also did a video on this here channel, so you guys could check it out as to what my plan was yesterday. And I was going for the lower time frames. That was my focus, looking at cradles, boosters, that sort of thing. So we all got the heads up. I did get to portray my plan for the day, not only to my paying members, but also to everybody else out here in social media FTX land. This is brought to you by FTX. Of course, I need to say that bit. So yeah, we had a plan in place, and that plan worked beautifully well. Plenty of great opportunities for shorting yesterday, and even though I didn't risk a full percent on the trade that I took, I still managed to bank 1.5%. So I'm pretty happy with that. There's nothing like planning out your trade, so your day, and then trading that plan to perfection, and getting paid. It's, some days you make money, some days you don't. Yesterday was a day that I did. So yesterday, we had this little bearish candle here. Look, up we go, lower high, low. So looking at this going, all right, well, you know what? If we break the low of that candle, we could certainly see further downside. We hands down, there is plenty of potential to move lower. Now, we needed to break this low for us to really get into that downtrend swing of things, and we did. Look, we had the lower high, boom, then we go to a new lower low, and that's shown very clearly when we look at the 12-hour. Lower high, low, lower high, lower low, and that was sort of the next wave of selling that I could see coming in. Now, keep in mind, I've been trading for 14 years now, okay? 14 or 15? 2006, yeah, 14 years. We're in 2020. So I've been around the markets quite a while. I don't have a crystal ball, but we did see some good selling. And then whammo, I went to bed last night. I moved my stops down here somewhere. I wasn't short Bitcoin, by the way, but it was down around this region. And then I woke up and I'm like, what? And we ended up closing up on the day. So look at this. Here is that V-shaped correction. You can see it's on the 4-hour. Look, we go down, lower high, lower low. Good, you beauty. We got some downward momentum. And then whooshka, we saw this rise from this low to where we are now. It's a 7.5% rise. That's that's not 1,000. Sorry, $665. I was looking at the wrong side. Big move. Now, what do we do, or what do we do from now? Well, gotta be honest, looking at Bitcoin now, we got a higher low, higher high. We did have a higher low, higher high. This is the first pullback. Let's go lower and just see if there's anything starting to maybe come together on Bitcoin here, because it's only going to be the lower time frames that I'm really going to be focusing my attention at the minute. Looking for support and resistance levels, as you would have learned on the Crypto Cradle strategy. A pullback into that region, probably on the 30 here. Why? Resistance running through here. Look, I know it's not a perfect level, but if and sorry to go advanced for those of you who don't know my other strategies, but I think there's a 50%, there is a 50% right in there as well. And very likely we would close above 9,500. Do you see what I've done there? What I've done is I've planned out a trade. Now I trade the Crypto Cradle, the Fibonacci Booster, and my Bitcoin Breakout. Now what I've done is I've combined the use of Fibonacci with support and resistance, and if it pulls back in there and gives me a little cradle, I've built up a confluence of events. Old resistance can act as support. Uptrend on the 1 hour, sorry, on the 15 minute, on the 30 minute, on the 1 hour, tickety. A round number there as well of 9,500, which we would probably close above, and a 50% Fibonacci level. The only thing I don't like on this 30-minute time frame right now is it is actually divergent. But you can see how I'm planning, I'm thinking through what could occur. And that's what I did yesterday as far as going to those lower time frames. So, whilst I've got you here on Bitcoin, let me jump to the 15 and show you the opportunities that were presented yesterday for those that were there trading the cradle on the lower time frames. That was the one. Back into the 10, back into the cradles and back into the 10 period moving average, and then a really nice fall from there. Okay, beautiful opportunity to make money there. If we go again, I think it's the 1 hour, or was it maybe the half hour? Just seeing if we can see that in here. There was another opportunity. It was here. It wasn't the greatest. You would have made money, or you would have at least got your 1-to-1 scale out risk free, or close out 1-to-1 before. So there's one really good opportunity and a second that did set up, not as good, but it was available as well. So there were opportunities there. There were opportunities everywhere yesterday. Right now though, looking at this, it's very difficult on these midterm time frames to be able to really get too much activity after a V-shaped bottom like that, because we have a lower low and a higher high. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to be focusing on the lower time frames. Okay, so when we do this scan now, I'm going to have the 30-minute and I'm going to have the daily, because I always want to know what the daily is looking like and what it's doing, more so for the direction that it's in. So across the top 10, we can see that Bitcoin is the big daddy. It is up the most across the market. Let's have a look at our FTX pairs and continue on through. You can see Ethereum here, support down there. Look at where it tested. Horizontal levels. Why do I use them and not diagonals? Because, boom, on the nose. Bingo. It has bounced. It did set a lower high, lower low. Again, witnessed beautifully on this 12-hour. Beautiful pullback moving away. We're getting back into there now. Would I consider a trade on this 8-hour? Well, it'd have to be pretty damn good. The 4's pulled back a little bit deep. I didn't recognize that as a good opportunity, as the chart structure was just not very good. Let's jump away and go back to that 30-minute here. No, I haven't got good cyclicity there. I'll probably be leaving that. Cardano. Now this was the trade I took yesterday. I'll just show it to you, and I'll show you how I managed it as well. This one here. Look at this. Downtrend, lower high, low, lower high, la la la. Shorting around that. Now let me just do this for you. Short position. Just so you can see the sorts of rewards are available. Now I did not get out down there at 7-to-1, and it did. Look, honestly, Cardano was the smallest of the movers out of all of them. What I did do before I went to bed last night, I actually moved my, what was it? I think it was here. What time was that? Yeah, 10. So I actually ended up getting 1.91 to 1 is what it says there. But I actually got a little bit less than that because I did scale out. But I'm pretty happy with that, because if it had fallen further, I would have made very good gains, because it was a big, well, relatively speaking, a large position. So you can see here, guys, you are able to exercise this crypto cradle strategy on the lower time frames. You just need to be doing it during periods where your slippage is going to be diminished. And that is when we've got good trends. That's why I'm a trend follower. So right now, very similar to that of Ethereum, not really much going on here, a bit stuck in this region. Would I look at this on the 4 hour? V-shaped bottom, no trend, not right now, no. Algorand is just messy. Look at the daily, look at the 4 hour. I'm not interested there at the minute. Go back down to the 30. What I'm looking for is clean trend. Okay, altcoin, perpetual, nothing there right now. If we have a look at this Cosmos, let's see if this on the higher time frames. See, this is nice. This is really nice. And the reason it's nice is the lower high, lower low. It's pulling back into that cradle zone right now. Yeah, okay. Doesn't look too bad. I'd probably... The 4 hour doesn't look too bad right now, actually. Let me just do this as a color change. Little cradle there in the 4 hour, a nice small candle, 2 hours 47, so still a while to go. If I match that up with the 8 hour, we do have a downtrend there as well, which is your rule 3 on 2 time frames. Sorry, rule 1, 2 time frames in trend in the same direction. Rule 2, moving averages in the same order. So we have that there as well. So that looks quite nice, and it's going in the list. Bitcoin Cash was looking all right when it was into here, but it's just kept on pushing a bit higher. 30 divergence from this high to this high. That's going to keep me out. Binance. Oh, let me show you. This was the one that... Look at that little cradle. That was the same time as Cardano kicked off. EOS also had one with a booster, and Tron the same. But look at that for a move. Much bigger move there on EOS. But anyway, I didn't get that one. So where are we now? Well, the thing is, we got a little cradle right there right now on that 30, but I don't like the way that MACD's looking. The 15, that's fine. As a matter of fact, there's the cradle, higher low, higher high, pulling back on this high to this high. We are convergent. That could be a trade right there, right now, if you can be Johnny on the spot and you can raise your order in time. There you go. So there's one for you. An example on the 15-minute of a little cradle on Binance. Right there. So that's in the list naturally. If it doesn't do it on the 5th, I mean, is that a... You can make your own decision on that one based on the rules. I haven't... No, let me have a look. See, I still do revert back to the rules too, guys. Price must be trending on the trigger chart, next higher time frame. Yep. Moving averages must be in the correct order on the trigger chart. Yep. Must be in the correct order on the next higher time frame. Yep, we can tick that. So I'm just going through the list of the course you went through. Entry candle must be in the cradle zone. Yes, it is. A candle small must be present. Yep. To enter the trade, we enter as it breaks above, stop loss below. Nothing in the way of achieving our target. Fine, and trigger chart is converging. That is your essential factors all met on this. There you go. Next. So do what you got to do. No, I don't always look at it, Ash. Yesterday, I was looking at the lower time frames because the market was moving. There was liquidity. I tend to only go to those lower time frames if the liquidity is there and there's a fair bit of activity. Let me just put my blind down. It's blinding me. Okay. Oh, that's so much better. Yeah, in the right conditions, that's when I will go to those lower time frames. That's for sure. That's what I'm interested in. But until I get the right conditions, I tend to work sort of 1 hour and above, unless I'm looking at a booster, in which case I will go lower. Okay. BSV. Okay, let's have a look at this on the daily because we have a lovely lower high, lower low, and look where it's pulled back into. I know it's been broken through a couple of times, but look, support, support, support. And even through here, there's 1, 2, it counts marvelously well. I've got this in the list already. Check it out. Let's see what time frame is going to be the one. Maybe the 8 here. Could it be the 4? There's a little, the little shack meme. That looks really nice right now. And the reason why, it's a bonus factor. That bonus factor is that we're pulling back into an old level of resistance. Okay, old support can become resistance. Now, I got a sneaking suspicion if I just throw a fib level, oops, I've drawn that a bit drunk, but is it there or is it there? Yeah, look at, it's consolidated. It's a bit tricky. It's only a bonus factor. It's bang on the 61.8 there. It's not quite there. I'm just going to get rid of it. I don't see it adding enough value to warrant whether I would take this trade or not. What I do like is the fact that this has been stalked by me all day. It's back into that level. That level, as you can see here on this daily, is a level of significance. Check this out. If we are to continue on this downtrend, we could see a very decent move here. Look at it on the weekly. We've got a lower high. We've broken that lower low. It's the most volatile, well, has been in the past, not so much of late, of course, with this consolidation, but BSV has been, out of the top 10, the most volatile in crypto top 10 for a period of time. When it trends, you'll see a 40% week frequently. It's a wild Bessie. So for me, it really, ticks a lot of those boxes there, and I'm going to put that in the list. This is great. I love these 3 p.m. scans. I do them usually anyway, but to share it, it's enjoyable. Believe it or not, I like what I do. Okay, let's keep moving. Bitmax, still 2 sideways on the daily for me. Focuses on trend always. Ooh. Doge. There's a downtrend, or downward pressure, I should say. We didn't break the low there, but there is downward pressure. I'm just going to reference point that region. It's not perfect. I'm reference pointing that, so the next time I do a scan, if there's anything there of that I might look to trade off of, it's clear. Just like on BSV, but there's nothing there on Doge there. Am I going to trade down on this 30-minute time frame right now? No, I don't particularly like the chart structure on Doge right now on those lowers. Dragon. Rawr. Look at that for a turnaround, hey? Low 746, high 827. That's a big batter, big swing and a miss there. Doge is trending quite nicely here on the 30, I must say. Let's go a wee bit lower. Oh, sorry, not Doge, Dragon. I've pulled a face, which generally means it's not quite good enough. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Little bearish candle in the cradle. Boo! Another one right there. I mean, man, there was opportunity yesterday. There was a lot of it. Did anyone get any fills yesterday? Because I put the plan out there in the morning. Did anybody end up taking anything based off of that particular plan? Because it would have done quite well for you. There wasn't many around that time that wouldn't have ended up being not just a profit, but a decent profit too. So now, as I go through this, I'm trying to explain to you why sometimes I do go to the lower time frames and why sometimes I leave it. I do go to the lower time frames when we've got that volatility moving. That's why people are in the community, so that I can give them a heads up as to what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. I don't like EOS now with that divergence. And just to have that plan, it's really important to have that plan. Nothing happened there. We'll go up to the 8. Now, I don't like this one as much as BSV, for example. I'll tell you why. There's the low, new lower low. We're divergent on these lows. Oh, you got a booster on Bitcoin Cash. Nice. That would have been a very good reward. Well done, Aaron. Sweet. Look, just pulling back in now, but it's divergent. So I'm not just looking for a cradle. I'm looking to fit the rules. I want to have the trigger chart at a minimum converging, as I just went through those rules with you a moment ago. I'm taking that out of the list. It's not ticking the box anymore. Exchange token. Let's look at that in the 12. Why? The trend's clean. And let's move lower. This looks really nice. If we can get possibly a bit more of a pullback for don't think the 2 is going to kick it. Nope. Where are we here? I'm just thinking this through. Is there any other significant areas around there? Any reason for it to fall from here? If it was to close a little bit more bearish, and let's be honest, we've got quite a bit of time left, I am going to pop that in at least, just in case it does close nice and bearish. I believe if that is to close bearish, we're likely to see some others setting up around the same sort of period as well. Horby, it's very much fun. It's very much all over the shop. In saying that, on the 30, higher low, higher high, pulling back, pull back, look at that cradle, whooshka, possibly another one here. Moving averages are in the correct order here on the 1 hour. The 30-minute here, if it gave a little bullish signal in there, that could be worth looking over your checklist for. It is convergent. The 1 hour is also convergent, so that's okay. Building out that watch list, building out that plan. I've got no interest in Leo right now. Link, let's have a look at Link. It's going to be the 8. I don't think Link is really there for me. It just doesn't have that really nice chart structure. The yellow flags list, it's just a separate list that I've created. I can just change the colors. Woohoo! So yeah, Link, I'm going to pass on Link. I don't think it looks quite as tasty as some of the others. Latissa, Litecoin, let's look at that 12. We'll see the clear lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. We're still, still convergent there on the 12. Still convergent on the 8. I don't love the way it's sort of evenly lowered out. I like to see it when it's, sets a significant low or a decent low, then it pulls back in like here. So with that being said, I'll probably leave that unless there's a flat level perhaps. No, nothing there for me. Matic's very sideways. I don't like that. I want to see some cyclicity, some trend. We just don't really have that right now. Mid cap, well, we can see here from this high to this high, we are divergent on the MACD. So that's rule number 8. Is it number 8 or 7? 8. So I can cancel that out. Okay, B. What have I here? I was keeping an eye on that, the 4-hour lower. It's pushed higher now, so I can actually take that out without going any further. It's not quite what I'm after. Shit perp. Divergent on 30-minute here. Yeah, it's not filling me with too much enthusiasm there compared to some of the others. Tomo is rather flat, but does that mean I've got a breakout? For those that have the breakout strategy already, you can look at that. There is some resistance coming up ahead. I'm not overly enthusiastic, to be fair, just yet. I'll move on. Tron. That level didn't eventuate. Again, another one where there's beautiful cradles yesterday that were very tradable on the 15 and the 30. Look at that. I believe that was also a booster in there as well. I took Cardano, and I was happy to just have one position on, to be fair, and I just couldn't get the orders raised fast enough because it was all happening at once. Okay. XRP, divergent on that high again. Tezos. Probably get rid of that now, I think. No longer relevant. I don't know about that. No, I can also leave Tezos there. Privacy perp, divergent on those highs. Get rid of that old trade. That level can stay. Nothing there for me. Theta. Definitely a level of resistance right there, isn't it? Very clear. I'll pop that in for my own personal purse because there is resistance there. Is that XDCE perp. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on that actually. There's not a great deal of data on the daily, but if it was to break up through there, that would be a higher low to a higher high. Same on the 4, maybe not so much on the 4 hour. On those lowers, it is worth me keeping an eye on. So that's just what I shall do. And back to the top at Bitcoin. So let's go and have a look at our little orange list and see what the oranges have for us. Cosmos. If you recall, we were looking at this on the 4 hour. A potential short trade here, a potential short cradle. Just obviously when it comes to the close, do your math just slightly before. So you work out the high, the low, your risk calculator. If you don't know what you're doing with that, below here in the description, you can do a full watch through of how to do that exactly. So give yourself some time, get your numbers right, and then be ready to press the button to raise those orders when it comes. So the atom is 1. Binance, looking at this on the 15, I think it was, that little cradle there. Now, of course, I'm doing what I'm doing, so I'm not able to do anything with that. Good example, high or low. It's a first pullback, so a little bonus factor there as well. BSV. 8, was it? Or 4? 4. Really like the look of BSV on the 4. I do. It's back into a lovely level. There is a small bearish candle. Now, if you're wondering where a stop could potentially go here, you'd want to have this the stop behind here. Why? When we're capturing trends, we're trying to capture that swing. So we want to have it where if it was to stop me out, it's got to go above that last lower high. That's what we're after there. That's what we're chasing. So stop would go behind the high there. If you decide to take this trade, it is your decision, of course. I don't tip ever, but that's what you'd be looking for a stop. Entry would be the break of the low of that candle, and that is, of course, rule 6. Exchange token needs to close down a little bit more. I would prefer BSV over exchange token just because of the chart structure, but it's another example, another opportunity. So exchange tokens in the list. Horby, that was converging here. So I pull back into here if you want to go those lower ones. Similar to what we saw here, little pullback, bullish candle, but ding, a pullback in here. And finally, looking at Theta on a breakout level if you know what that strategy is. And if you don't, well, all you've got to do is go to tradercobb.com and you can find out what it is. And a question, isn't BNB divergent? So yes, we discussed that, but no, it is not. Why? We're looking at high, higher low, higher high, right? Because that means it's in an uptrend. Well, so therefore I'm comparing this high, the last high, yeah? Current high to the last high, which means here to here, which means we're convergent. So there we go. So XDCE perp. XDCE perp. I don't think it's there. Yeah, the highs before that. So if you're looking at this on the 30, so this is the FTX perpetual scan. So only scanning the perpetual contracts that are on FTX there. So if you were to look at this one, Merv, you're looking at this high to this high, because that's a one candle pullback, right? So you're looking at this one to this one. Now, of course, what you're looking for with a booster, with a cradle, is the trigger chart, which is the time frame for which you find the trade that sets best on, which is the 15 here. We're looking at convergence on that trigger chart. So we are looking at this one to this one. Cool. Does anyone else have any questions around this? Because there's actually some trades that are starting to come to fruition. Sorry, not fruition. They're in the next couple of hours, we're going to have to make some decisions here. It's 2.5 hours away. Now, for those of you who don't know what I say when I say trading windows, this is the window. There's nothing for me to do right now when I'm looking at these 4-hour charts. I'm stalking short entries on the 4-hour because that's the time frame for which BSV is setting up. Exchange perp is also potentially setting up, and Horby. Horby's not the one. What was it? Atom. Was it Atom? Yeah. So therefore, what I'm doing is I'm really going, okay, well, then I've got to be back here in not 2.5 hours, maybe 2 hours and 15 minutes, so I can check what they look like. I can use my little notepad here, start to write down the levels. Once I've written down the levels, I can then use the FTX risk calculator to work out my risk management, to work out the size of the position. I can load up that order, and then what happens? Well, once it's all written down so you can't make a mistake, you click the button once it's closed, and then away you go. You flip it around and you put your stop loss in and your targets, and that's that. So planning is really, really important when it comes to trading. It's knowing the windows to be available for. You say, I can't trade because I've got to work during the day. That's not true. Find a window that works for you. You're going to have a window at 6. You're going to have a window again at 10 for your 4-hour, 2-hour, 1-hour, half-hour, and 15-minute candles. At the 10 o'clock window, you're going to have an 8 as well, and you're going to have a 12. So it's knowing when those candles shut and just making sure you do your scans and you're there just prior to the closing of those candles. And that's exactly what I mean when I say trading windows. Have I got any videos about shorting FTX? Yeah, if you look on the description, it shows you a long, but to go short's exactly the same. You just flip it around. Give me one moment, because I know some people struggle with the idea of shorting. Actually, I'm not logged in, but I'll just throw this up. You all can see that, I suspect. Okay, so some people say they can get longs right, but they can't get shorts. Okay, so let's say, for example, we'll go. Where am I? BSV. We'll just do a mock order here for BSV currently. All right. So here's what we're going to do. So we're going to hover the mouse. So we're looking at this up here. Let's just say we want to straddle this candle. It's not the candle that we want, but let's just, for shits and giggles, for the example. So I'm going to write down E equals the low of that candle, which is 172.05. So I'm going to go 172.95. 172.95. Stop loss will be the high of that candle, which is 176. I'll go 35. Now that I've done that, I want to come to here. All right. So entry price 172. Oops. You click sell BSV. 172.95. Stop loss 176.35. Let's say I want to risk $1,000. So we'll just type in here. Okay, so it's going to be too big. 350. No, it's still too big. 325. 315. 310. 305. 300. That'll do. All right. So we got $1,000 US risk right there. Now what that means is that the next thing I write down is I write P equals, and that equals position size. So you can do PS, whatever. I just write P. That means that with my entry where it is at 172.95 and my stop loss at 176.35 to sell BSV with 300 contracts, I'm risking $1,000 US. Now, of course, I can hit place order there, or what I do just out of habit is I just come down to here and raise the order the same way I would with a long. You just got to remember that they're flipping it over. Okay, so it's the other way around. Now, if you're going to then raise your stop loss, because I'm not logged in, I can't actually, the button's not there. If you raise the order, of course, it's got that little red button that's got the 2 arrows pointing either way. Oops. That little button that points either way, what that does is it means that it will change from long to short. So you can then go and put your stop loss in. And I use a stop market for that so that I will get filled. I might get some slippage, but that's okay. I want to be out of that position. So it's really just about choosing the direction you want, putting that price in that you wish to get filled. So I'm going to go 172.95 and 172.85. That means that I'm happy to get filled between these two levels. All right. With 300, I know because I've used the risk calculator already that I'm risking $1,000 US. Does that help? Oh. Does that help? I'm hoping so. I think a lot of people struggle with going short because they just don't understand that it's just a directional thing. Once you get your head around that, it's pretty straightforward. And I'm not saying that going short's not difficult the first few times. I totally get it. But it's just another order. We're just trailing direction. So the stop loss and take profit are long set. Yeah. So if you then go, if you're going to go, let's say we've been filled, okay, bink, or let's say we've raised this order. Then I come across, I hit the little arrow down there and this will pop up. Then I'll go stop market and I'll type in 176 spot 35. Same amount of contracts. And then I go whack. Okay. Done. Yeah, since there's some questions around going short, absolutely. Look, if I get a setup on BSV, what I'll do is as I raise the order, I'll raise it. I prefer to use examples with live trades, or real examples, because it doesn't confuse people around what the trade looks like. So that's fine. If I do go ahead and do it, I'll just do I'll have a different account and I'll do a small order. So it's not about how much money I'm risking on the trade. It's about how I raise the order, and the size of my trades is up to me. By the way, when you do change that over, you want to hit reduce only, the same as you would in the process of going long for your stop loss. Now, what I would suggest is go and watch that order raising video in the description here, because now that you know that all you got to do is the same process but flip it around, perhaps watching it through again might be a big help for you. Now, if you are in the community, if you're in my Trader Craig community, or if you've done all the courses, then you should have the list already. If not, just hit us in a direct message in the community and I'll get that sent to you, because we've got a full cheat sheet of how to raise the orders and all that sort of stuff. So no problems at all. Yeah, so when you're going short, your stop loss is a buy, your take profit is a buy, and to take profit, you're going to go for take profit still, but it's going to be on the buy side, and then you're going to make it, I don't know, for what, 171.03, whatever, and then that will set that for you. As always, make sure you think it through. There's no rush with trading. Take your time, start small. And I'm telling you right now, and then of course hit reduce only. I'm telling you right now that once you've done it a couple of times, it will become simple. Your best friend is a notebook, guys. Writing the process down, getting it correct, printing it out, putting some contact over it, and keeping it close by. Unlike me with my checklists, my kids have grabbed a hold of that one. It's about process-driven outcomes. If you've got a process for everything, then the outcome that you desire tends to be the outcome that you get, and that's a really, really important thing to recognize and to remember. What's on my watch list? I'll just jump back and show you. So, by the way, anybody who hasn't got an FTX account, obviously none of that's going to make much of a difference if you don't have it. Again, the description below means you're going to get 10% off your any trading fees going forward. So this is my watch list. Again, I'll go through it quickly before we wrap it up. Cosmos, 4 hour, looking at the cradle here, seeing how we go. If a close like that looks pretty good, fits those rules, make sure you have your rules. Make sure if you don't have that cradle, if you haven't been through that cradle course, you'll have to ask FTX for that, or you can go to tradercobb.com and just buy the whole lot of them. All right, if you want a discount, it's FTX 15. Done. All right, Binance. That's not so much on the watch list now. It's more BSV. Love the look of this right here. Beautiful move back into that old level of support, which is acting as resistance potentially. Now, just because this trade looks good doesn't mean it will be a profit. Don't forget that. If I was going to be trading this, if it came to the time, my stop's going to be above that green candle and my entry is going to be below the low of that. Now, that's based on the rules. That is not a tip. I do not tip. It is not financial advice. That is the way you trade that strategy. So I've got 2 hours and 20 minutes until that sets up. Exchange perp. Looking bearish there. What is that level? Okay, now, see that. This is what I talk about when I say reference points, okay? That's a reference point line from a little while back. Because of that reference point being there, it's made me skip back and look at that and go, what's going on there? Well, I wouldn't take that because there is a reason for that to trampoline off of there. So exchange perp is now out of the list. Ooh, pull back in. I'm looking at it on the 30s. What I want, isn't it? 30s what I want there. So yeah, nothing on that puppy. It's got to come back in a little bit deeper. To be fair, I'm kind of liking the 4 hours a little bit more. If you know what the breakout strategy is, then you will know what you're looking for here. It's not ready yet, but I'm looking at that for those that know what they're looking at. Binance, as I said, higher low, higher high, pulling back. It's just not doing a great deal right now. I'm actually quite interested in these 4 hour time frames. Atom and BSV. They're both quite nice. Guys, as always, stick to your rules. I'll do a video as soon as I get the chance on my next trade, on my next short trade, so that you've got a comparative to work through that checklist. Work through how to raise your short orders. And open the accounts, hit the website, subscribe, like, love heart, do whatever you can do to make this go further. And have a great day. All right. Cheers.